What's going on, guys? Brandon here. So, McCarthy, speakers, who's going to be? What's going on? House of Representatives. People on one side think all, HE double hockey sticks is breaking out. The other side is caught in a fight. And it's really the tale of how this always breaks down. Democrats are usually united, and they're usually, just, kind of in lockstep with each other, and just, whatever the speaker says or whatever the leader says at the time. And then the Republican Party is generally a party that's fractured, always fractured. They're a party of people who have a million different ideas and are thinking about different things, quite honestly. Like, let's be real. This is how it generally happens. And, this is why Democrats usually are so effective at moving the Overton window and just continually pushing things further and further to the collectivist side, because they're in lockstep and they just fall into place. So that's not the point of this. The point is, this is amazing. This is amazing. Why in the world? The government was not set up to run efficiently. It was not set up to run quickly, emotionally. This is not how it works. If the best thing that could happen to our country to give us more freedom, prosperity, health, wealth, happiness, everything, is if Congress and the speaker didn't get figured out for a year, for 10 years, for 100 years, and this just kept going on, and they literally were voting for 100 years. The average person would literally lose their mind. Their head would explode. And I'm not talking like figurative explode. It would literally explode. It'd be like a fembot in Austin Powers. That's how backwards our culture is. When you don't even understand how our system is designed. They put Washington in Washington because it was a swamp. They didn't want people to actually want to go there 250 years ago, because it was hot and muggy. And there wasn't air conditioning, obviously. They didn't want people to go. And they used to only go one or 2 months out of the year. Now they're there 10 months out of the year, and they only spend 2 months at home. These people are grifters. They're rent seekers. All they do is pass rules, regulations, red tape, bureaucracy to destroy your life. You think it's helping you. If you're getting something from the government, or someone that's destroying your life. You are becoming dependent on the system, and you're becoming dependent on someone else and what they're willing to give you, and you are at the behest, at the mercy of them. You're in debt to them. The slave is the borrower, right? The borrower becomes the slave, the servant to the lender. That's how this works. It's just like the IMF indebting countries, saying, "Oh, we'll come in and bail you out, Central American country, South American country. You just got to do these things." This game is played over and over again, and people continually fall for it. But the Bible tells us that, right? This is going to continue happening, and every single chapter in the Bible, and they forget God again. Oh, they forgot God again. And that may be true, right? They forgot God. However, humans tend to forget a lot of these things. It's really an analogy for a lot of life. Again, 250 years ago, America is a very young country, yet we don't even understand. We have no concept of how we were even formed. Government does so much in our life. I've been studying this for 20 years, informally, myself, and formally in school. This country was set up, obviously, with 3 branches of government to do things slowly and unemotionally, do things logically. This is how it's supposed to be. They didn't have a problem just jamming down the omnibus bill a couple weeks ago down our throats in the 11th hour. No debate there. Rand Paul stood up with a stack of 4,000 pages of what they were jamming down their throat, because every politician has zero cojones to actually stand up on their merit and talk about and debate each amendment or each portion of the bill that they jammed in there at the last minute. They've known all year, every year that we know at the time when we need a budget. Yet they keep pushing it. Haven't had a budget in years. Think about that. What if you ran your household with no budget? What would happen? If you ran your household with zero budget, what would happen? You'd go bankrupt eventually, right? You go bankrupt, and then you'd be in jail eventually, depending on what you did, or maybe you get bailed out by the government, just like the politicians seemingly keep getting bailed out because no one votes them out, no one does anything. I mean, look at the election that just happened a couple months ago. Nothing really changed. So these people just continually get recycled over and over. No one has any trust in the Congress at all. Yet they keep getting voted in somehow, right? So again, this is how government's supposed to work. Actual debate. However, we know, again, our culture has a very hard time debating things, actually. We can't even say things to each other without getting triggered, without getting, upset, without getting sad, without, storming off. That's exactly what people who have ill intention want. They want to stifle debate. They want people just not paying attention, head in the sand, so they can do whatever it is they want. So this is just clown world. The other aspect of this is that there's a few people, and it looks like it was a 13th vote that they got closer. It had some people defect now, 14 of them looked like, so there might be only a few people left. But those that are standing, I don't even care about these people politically. I care about them personally, the politicians. But politically, I don't care about any of them. But if there's a few people standing, whether it was Gaetz, Boebert, or whoever it is, Chip Roy, and I don't know who defected or who didn't yet, doesn't matter. But if they're the ones standing, at least for a moment, like where were you during the omnibus bill? Where were you with other stuff? But if you're the only ones at least standing, I mean, more power to you. I hope this happens for another 100 years. I hope you guys just keep voting for 100 years. It'd be the best thing for wealth, prosperity, health of everyone. Most people, that's triggering maybe some of you watching this right now. You can't even imagine. Well, what do you mean? What's the government not doing for us? The government's not supposed to do anything for us. The government is the problem. It's not that we have too little government. We have too much government. We're 31 trillion in debt. 31 trillion in debt. I believe we were 10 trillion. I think we were 10 trillion in debt just 12 years ago, 14 years ago. Think about that. We tripled it in the last 12 years. And again, my numbers might be off just a little bit, but where do you think this ends at the end of the day? Currency, the debt doesn't just evaporate. It ends always in war, some type of war. That's how this ends. When you're resetting the system, monetary transitions, this is why Bitcoiners talk about Bitcoin, because it's the peaceful revolution. It's the transition into a new monetary system and into a new monetary technology system, this largest supercomputer to ever exist, everything. I mean, I can keep going down the list. This is why we say, hey, this road is very ugly. Two roads diverge in the wood, right? This one goes to the Bitcoin citadel and a new paradise, or this one goes to hell. CBDC, central bank digital currencies, the panopticon, the Chinese social credit scores, George Orwell, 1984, you name it. Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. It goes to death and despair, or we've got, in slavery, or we've got Bitcoin. We've got a peaceful world